will go. Hell no, he won't go. Hell no, we won't go. That's right. And you know the thing that they use to make us support bombing people in Iraq, bombing people in Iran, the thing that they use to convince young people, our family, our friends, to go into the military and go fight and die, killing people of Iran and Iraq. You know, what can they do to make it seem like we have nothing in common with them? Because as I said earlier, we have far more in common with them, you've heard it before, than the people who are telling us to go to war. The one thing that they have to make us not see ourselves with the Iranian people, to not see ourselves with the Iraqi people, to not identify with their struggle over the struggle of the Raytheon CEOs, and that's racism. They use racism. That is their most powerful weapon. That is their tool. We saw it right after 9/11 when they wanted to go to war in Afghanistan. What did they start doing? They started demonizing Muslims. They started demonizing and attacking all Arab people, sending the FBI to infiltrate their mosques and entrap young Muslim youth. It was a culture of racism that spread even more than it already was in U.S. society. We saw that with the beginning of the Iraq War, the infectious racism that they used, and we're seeing it now. You turn on the news, they talk about things like, oh, they've been fighting over there for hundreds of years. That is racist, and it's not true. And so that is why racism, fighting racism, is so much a part of fighting war. Because this country cannot wage these racist wars without racism. And that's why ANSWER and the ANSWER Coalition stands for Act Now to Stop War and End Racism. Because it is so much a part of that. And so now I'm honored to introduce someone who founded the ANSWER Coalition, one of the small group of people who in the just days after the 9/11 attacks, when millions of people in this country wanted revenge, wanted war, wanted to carpet bomb people who are not our enemies, it was the ANSWER Coalition who formed in those moments of progressive organizations all around the country and immediately started organizing against this last 20 years of permanent war that we've seen. So please welcome founder of ANSWER, Preston Wood.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, all of you, for being here. It's a beautiful sight to see. Mike referred to 2003, when the movement was beginning to take off around the coming war against Iraq and the invasion. Very similar today, as Abby and others said, it's scary, right? Yeah, we all, woke up and thought about our families and our neighbors and our co-workers and what another war would mean for all of us. And I saw the troops being drug off one more time. Young people, no clue what's going on. We're going to suffer at the hands of their officer class, who will come back broken if there is a war, facing all the evils of this world we live in. After 2003, in 2003, ANSWER organized a broad coalition of people to break the blockade against Iraq and deliver $20 million in medicine to the Iraqi people. That's what we're going to do again, things like that. We're going to defy them, dare them to try to jail us. They can't. There's a number of you here tonight, but there are millions, as Greg said, who agree with you, who are sick and tired living in the Trump era, but living in any era when you have to pay for an education. Can you believe it? I'm a nurse. I work in a hospital. People, if they can't pay, they don't get taken care of. Can you believe it? Only in this country. How is it a small, parasitical, blood-sucking group of elite billionaires can be calling all the shots while imposing sanctions on people all over the world? And you know what? They're imposing the sanctions on the working class here too. The sanctions against having a home, of it losing your home, being forced to live in your car and losing your car and then living in the street. We all know people who have done this because they lost their job or their rent got doubled overnight. This is a war against the working class, against the poor people, against the most oppressed. But we're going to unite and show them, and you're going to be part of it, of the future of struggle. We need a government run by the working class of people who are producing the wealth. They aren't. They're just sitting there in their disgusting palaces, and they have to be taken out and put in jail, and we'll show them how to run society, to provide food for children, health care for all, free education, housing for everyone, and there will be equality, whether it's in Iraq or Venezuela. We got to get them off our backs, right? We got to push them back through power by forming organizations that are combat ready, that are ready to struggle and stand for all the things that we know and the things that we need so badly. And believe me, it's in history. It's in the material every day. You see it, and you can see it coming. There's going to be your generation, all of you who are younger, will be the ones who bring light into the darkness and power to those who deserve it and who know what to do with it. All that money, those trillions of dollars for the war, the billions of dollars that these small little group of people have, they've built their Pentagon up and their police forces, their jails, they've abandoned the schools, they've abandoned everything that stands for what humanity has and should and will have and deserves, right? But we have to take it by power. We have to take it by organizing. We can't just lie down and give up and run. Yeah, it did get scary this week, but people kept pouring into the streets to say, no war on Iran. That is a powerful slogan. Right. So let's keep organizing. Let's stand up for the veterans. Let's stand up for the black and brown youth. Stand up for the queer people, for the women. I heard they're laying us down with lies every day, and the one that really got me was when Mike Pence, that homophobic, anti-woman bigot, said that 911 was carried out by Iran. Can you believe it? What an outright fucking lie! And we have to call him out on that. We have to call and tell the truth, scream the truth, penetrate, fight, and keep doing it by getting out of the streets, organizing, getting to the schools and organizing, getting into the jails and organizing. Those are all of our people in there. We want to free them and bring them back out to our communities. And we'll do it by taking power. We'll do it by organizing, by fighting for what's right, by being clear and talking to the people, whoever they are, even if they're fooled by Trump's bullshit. We've got to explain to them where their interests really lie. And the struggle, and I've been doing this for a long time, believe me, it's through the struggle that you learn who your friends are and who your allies are. Whether it's on a picket line at work or wherever it is, you see who your friends are and who your allies are and who your enemies are. And together, we are stronger than any of them. And we will go forward for a future where hunger and homelessness become a thing of the past. And the history of the United States will be the history of the working class people fighting for what's right, and not the history of these bigots and politicians who think they're in charge now and smirk and have disdain for us. We'll show them.
Thank you, Preston. Give another round of applause for Preston. Someone who's been in the struggle for a very long time, and one thing I've learned is that they lie all the time. Is that right? They lie about Vietnam. I'm asking you, did they lie about Vietnam? Did they lie when they went into Iraq? Did they lie when they went into Libya? Did they lie when they went into Syria? Are they lying right now as they threaten Iran? And what we have to understand is that's what makes them weak. That's what makes this empire weak, is the fact that they are built on lies. What this movement has is the truth behind its wings. And it's that truth that's going to shed a light into the darkness. It's that truth that's going to propel us to ending this empire once and for all. Can we get with that? Are you down with that? And are we going to fight for that? When we fight, when we organize. And another organizer, our very last speaker on the program today, I'd like to announce from the Party for Socialism and Liberation, Ernesto.
For my entire life, the United States has carried a scythe in the Middle East, reaping away the lives of thousands. And no matter whether it was a Democrat or a Republican under the hood, the United States has always been the world's Grim Reaper. Now, 31,000 lives lost in Afghanistan, 500,000 Iraqis. How many more? Only God knows how many lives have been lost by the sanctions that the United States launches against the world. The story is always the same. Whether it's North Korea, Iran, or Venezuela, sanctions kill. Sanctions are war. Let me hear you say sanctions are war. One more time, sanctions are war. Now, do you all know what sanctions are? Is it true that here in the United States, the working class is sanctioned from wealth every single day? Now, I promise you, if you join Answer Coalition, if you join the PSL, we'll fight this war and any other imperialist war with solidarity and socialism. We're gonna build a better world. A world where we don't have to sanction any enemies because the world countries will be our friends. Because there will never be profit in war.
Here, I want to take it from over here.